So Vesa, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, my background is in filmmaking, actually. Well, I started with my parents' pots and pans when I was 5 years old and turned them into a drum kit. So kind of creativity and rhythm was something that it was already in me, sort of as far back as I can remember. But instead of being interested in music as a whole, I didn't care about the theory side. I just wanted to make cool songs and be a rock star type of thing. So I evolved out of that very quickly and realized that in film I love the theory side as well, and I love the worlds that directors created, and I did that for about a decade professionally. I had my own production company, and then something else was brewing up inside me, and eventually that led me to innovating my own form of art, of how I put things together in a whole world view that aligned with technology and painting and body painting and a whole type of thing. And I just realized when I saw the first one in front of me, I realized that I no longer wanted to do the things of what I thought I wanted to do. That this was it, and this was a contribution worthy of, despite all the risk and craziness, to pursue with all of my might. So that 10 years ago led me to eventually body paint a Bollywood actress called Veena Malik, and it was on a surface level quite controversial because she was Pakistani and Muslim. So we made these art pieces that commented upon the common origin of all spirituality, and we reached about 300 million people, and we changed the world in the process. So that's what it led to. And then, but it wasn't really, surprisingly, quite absorbed by the art world, and they didn't seem to get it, and they didn't seem to, things didn't progress from there as I thought they were going to progress. But at that time, when I innovated the new art thing, I also made a documentary film about the monetary system. And once I learned what it was, I realized that people should really know and understand this better, so we can get out of some of the messes that I saw that we were already getting into, and the world was polarizing further and further, and now it's even much, much worse. And I think one part of it is the monetary system. And once, a couple of years ago, I went for coffee with a friend of mine who just told me that he's become a crypto investor. And he just paid himself for a full year the day before, and that was what he did now, and he sort of came out of the crypto closet, so to speak. And he told me that since you're into crypto, you should really pay attention to where Bitcoin is right now and what can be built on it, how it relates to art, and maybe there's something in this for you. And I did a whole rabbit hole dive, 4 months of not being able to sleep. I did the whole red eye type of experience and got obsessed and birthed this new platform called Art for Crypto, which essentially is telling the story of what is going on in cryptocurrencies, or the whole monetary system evolution and tech evolution, and documenting it almost like a war photographer, and trying to contribute something towards the conversation of here's what is really important and here's what happened. And in one way, for those of us who are on the inside of the cryptocurrency space, that's something special for us. It's got a monetary value. Some of them are tied to the price of Bitcoin and are verified on the blockchain. And there's all these different kinds of things. But for me personally, what's important is the substance. But for those who might have only heard about Bitcoin in passing, they are a conversation starter, and they're an education as to what it really is, as opposed to what the mass media might say about it, or even the most hardcore activists. I try and have as balanced a point of view to it as possible, and in some way, I suppose, even be a kind of reporter for it.
That is an amazing line of work that you're getting into. But is it really profitable?
Well, my creative efforts have sustained me as a creative professional for 20 years now. Has it been super difficult and hard and demanded a lot of sacrifices, and absolutely, horrendously so at times. But also right now, and especially in the cryptocurrency space, and them understanding what kind of a contribution I've given to it, the opportunities that are coming in are also incredible. So it's starting to pay off all of those sacrifices. And it's so much beyond just making some paintings and making some money, because essentially what I came to learn across the way as I've been doing this journey is that there's a guy called Sir Ken Robinson who did these TED Talks that are very, very popular, and they're about the crisis of the education system in relation to creativity altogether. But essentially when we had the industrial revolution, and we had the value system was that the arts were at the bottom, and you had maybe mathematics and things, and the system almost developed to be something that creates very good workers, but it doesn't create entrepreneurs, and it doesn't create artists. We've gone to the point of where we now have, let's say, artificial intelligence is starting to make low-end white-collar jobs, like low-end lawyers and low-end doctors, obsolete already. So what I started seeing is that we haven't updated this, and let's say now that if, like we heard panels today where people comfortably say that 9 out of 10 businesses are going to fail, but no one's saying why are they failing. Well, perhaps because our creativity and our innovation in the value system of the whole global education is at the bottom. So no one's thinking, well, could we, my question immediately was, well, could we reverse this, that 9 out of 10 will be successful if we reverse the value system of the whole way that we think about creativity altogether? And isn't it about, in time, that we start taking creativity and this expression seriously, because all of these automations, all of these different things that are now liberating humanity, now they should really start to liberate us, not in our identities of how we think about each other. Are we creative people? What our contribution is, and where are we going? So I'm saying many of the companies that are going to be formed in the next coming year, I don't know how many, it's probably trillions of dollars that are going to be sunk into these companies, that most of them are dead already, and they just don't know it because in 5 years the automation has gone way beyond their coding or their service or whatever it is. So can we perhaps reverse this? And my question is, can we make a better world with that? And I can probably save a lot of people a lot of money with a different kind of mindset and attitude. And this is my contribution towards the whole tech space. I'm not here to have conversations with other artists, even though I enjoy them. I'm here to have conversations with CEOs, with founders, with VCs, with the kinds of people who stand to lose a lot, who actually have a lot of influence and power in order to redirect us somewhere where it might become less of a chaos than it is right now.
Impressive. Can you give us a little summary of what your talk was about today?
Pretty much that. How the creativity crisis, how the art world is very stifling, it's quite conservative, it hasn't innovated for a long time, it didn't feel, like I feel much more creatively alive and rewarded and good being in a tech space as an artist than I am in the art space. And that's something that leads to maybe the last point of the question, which was towards where am I going right now. And what I want to plug is essentially this one great guy called Adam Williams, who fronts this conference in Las Vegas called World Crypto Conference. And they gave me a big shot as a creative to go and do a stage performance, a 30-minute keynote, and a large art exhibit in their conference last year. And this year it's evolved to being the Vegas Blockchain Week. So there's the Litecoin Summit, and where I'm doing the very same thing, and then World CryptoCon back to back in this whole thing. And I can't wait to go there. Vegas is a crazy place, but the mentality of the American blockchain space is a little bit different as opposed to the rest of the world still in adopting and supporting the creative arts. The majority, I think the demographics are that 85% of the people coming to my website, artforcrypto.com, are coming from America. And many of these things where they take it seriously, they put some money into it, and they give me spaces to speak where here they're asking you speak. So it's a little bit of that kind of thing. But now, because of all the things that happened over in America during the last couple of years, also London is opening up. And hopefully Asia is going to be next. It's likely Singapore, where some cool stuff is happening during the winter, which I'm happy about because obviously it's not so sunny over here.
Right, so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.